but everyone got so quiet, I feel obligated to begin. So on behalf of the Morning News and Francis Marion University, I'm delighted to welcome you all here this morning. You know, the Marian Medallion this year celebrates its 10th anniversary. This milestone is a good time for us to reflect briefly on the heritage of this medallion and its history. First, let me recognize the previous recipients of this award over the past 9 years. I would ask that you would stand when I call your name, and please let's hold our applause until all have been announced. In 2012, Kathy Baxley, Henry Johnson, and Hayward King were recipients of the medallion. In 2013, Bill and Olive Timberlake and the late Ralph Porter were recipients of the medallion. 2014, Henry Beatty and Clyde Odom and Henry Brunson. 2015, John and Vicki Kirby, Paige Alexander, and Deanna Strickland. 2016, Carlos Washington and Manna House. 2017, Reggie Armstrong, Carl Harmon, and the late Courtney Graham. 2018, Billy Powers, Help for Kids. 2019, Chuck McNeil and Parking Lot Ministry. And 2020, the former mayor, Stephen Wakila, and Alan Floyd. Ladies and gentlemen, the previous recipients of the medallion, the Marian Medallion. Let's give them a round of applause. So just a little information about the medallion. The medallion is, of course, named for General Francis Marion. It was created to recognize the substantial contributions made by citizens of the Pee Dee to the well-being of the region, reflective of General Marion's example of selfless service during and after the Revolutionary War. This recognition is important because it shines a light, it illuminates on good news in a region that is often defined by its challenges, and because it serves to highlight our very, very best and brightest achievements. You know, from its very creation 10 years ago, this award has honored an impressive list of regional heroes who have quietly gone about the business of making the Pee Dee a better place to live and work. Over the years, we've honored those who have helped the sick, fed the hungry, sheltered the homeless. We've also honored business executives, coaches, educators, volunteers, and philanthropists. All these people were deserving. All met a single, simple criterion. They worked to make their world a better place, and they expected absolutely nothing in return for their efforts. Indeed, one of the real defining tests of our decision each year is the reaction of the recipients to the news that they're receiving the award. Almost invariably, they tell us they don't deserve it. Of course, others with whom we converse feel very differently. Occasionally, a medallion has been presented to an organization rather than to an individual. There was very, very much debate about this in the beginning, but in the long run, we've realized that it makes perfect sense. You see, teamwork, the spirit of cooperation, the power of many hands is simply too important not to acknowledge. After all, General Marion didn't win the war by himself. You sometimes hear historians give George Washington partial credit. But we South Carolinians know better. Great organizations can do great things. Around here, that happens every day. In fact, today's first recipient is an organization. You know, it used to be a small group, but it's grown quite a bit over the years. Today, it's a powerful force for accomplishing miraculous things across our region. HopeHealth was founded in 1991 as Hope for the Pee Dee. Began as a grassroots HIV/AIDS support organization. It moved on to case management and ultimately actual medical care. Eventually, it morphed into a comprehensive health care organization providing primary care and more across the Pee Dee region. Today, HopeHealth provides integrated health services to more than 50,000 patients in the areas surrounding Florence, Orangeburg, Aiken, and Williamsburg counties. It was designated a federally qualified health center in 2007, allowing a significant expansion of both its resources and its services and its capacity to treat patients. HopeHealth now has more than 550 employees spread in 14, soon to be 15 locations. We just celebrated the expansion of their office on the FMU campus yesterday. It's more than 90 providers cover primary care, pediatrics, dental care, chiropractic care, rheumatology, endocrinology, behavioral health, and psychiatry, pain management, substance use abuse, and women's health services. HopeHealth provides health services to all kinds of people, but its greatest impact is on those who have nowhere else to turn. Its low-cost or no-cost service allows access to medical services to the very least and most needy in our society. Provides them with better health. It also provides them with hope. I guess the name sums it up, doesn't it? Please join me in congratulating HopeHealth as it receives this year's Marian Medallion. CEO Carl Humphries, the person who had the vision and determination to make this extraordinary organization possible, is accepting the award on behalf of the 550 recipients today. Mr. Humphries.
Wow. You know, there are a variety of ways that our community honors its citizens. But as I reflect on the nature of this award and the link it has to community service, it really makes me proud that HopeHealth was selected. The fact that we're mentioned alongside previous recipients like Mayor Wakila, Reggie Armstrong, Courtney Graham, Parking Lot Mission, Manor House, Kathy Baxley, Ralph Porter, and all the others is truly an honor that we'll cherish for years to come. There's a lot of people to thank, way too many for me to get them all, and I want to apologize in advance if you're here today and I don't specifically mention your name. But I want to start with Dr. Carter in the Morning News. Thank you for what you've done in putting this together and for the selection process each year, and thank you for seeing something in HopeHealth that caused you to think that we belong with those other names that we've mentioned earlier. If you're on the HopeHealth Board of Directors and you're here today, or you've served on the Board of Directors at some point in the past, please lift your hand and keep it up for a second so everyone can see you. All HopeHealth Board members, Joe, Nick, past and present. These are folks who have led our organization at one time or the other, and I think we ought to show our appreciation to them. Joe, I hate to single one person out, but I was talking to Joe earlier. I couldn't help but be reminded. He's not going to remember this, but when I came in 2000, Joe Biddle was the chairman of the board of directors, and he said, we've got to do a better job of connecting to the community, of telling people who we are and what we do. And people don't know who we are. We got to get the word out. And he said, you need to go out and meet people. And he gave me this list of people that I needed to connect with. And one of them was Dr. Allie Brooks. We haven't gotten to know each other that well over the years, but it's ironic to me that 20 years later, after you had his name on the list, his wife, Barbara, serves on our board of directors. And then Dr. Carter was another name on that list, someone that you sort of pushed me to get to know. And now you can see the fruits of how that's developed over the years. So I did do some of what you asked me to do, okay? Finally, our team members. We have several employees here. And again, I'd ask you to lift your hand up if you're an employee of HopeHealth, either now or sometime in the past. Let everyone see you, and I'd appreciate you guys if you'd show some love for these folks. They came over and surprised me a week or two ago. Don and a crew it was quite an entourage from the paper and Dr. Carter, to tell me that I would be receiving this award. I was totally shocked by it, didn't know what was going on. And in the days since then, I've reflected on what is it about HopeHealth that causes us to be seen in this light. And I thought of three things: perseverance, compassion, and pursuit of excellence. In the early days of HopeHealth, there were volunteers who all they did was provide meals and transportation and support for people living with AIDS. No money, no employed staff, just hearts filled with love for people who, quite frankly, weren't being loved by the community. And the perseverance of those folks in those early days to keep pushing and but long before I got here, speaks to the perseverance. Compassion is the second one. I know all nonprofits say they have compassion, but I think at HopeHealth we're different. And we tell folks when they come and apply for a job at HopeHealth, if you don't have a deep, real sense of compassion for your fellow man, don't come here. Don't come and work for us. It's not the right place for you. And then finally, the pursuit of excellence. We don't want to be average. We don't want to do just enough to get by. We want to be the best at everything we do. And hopefully these are some of the characteristics that we're seeing in us and cause us to be recognized. I want to close with an email from one of our employees. She sent me this on her 15-year anniversary. She works at one of our remote sites that still only provides HIV/AIDS services. She's been in the HIV/AIDS nursing field for 30 years, first as a nurse and now as a nurse practitioner. Give that a minute to think about. 30 years. And on her 15-year anniversary with HopeHealth, she sent me this email. Good morning. Today I celebrate a milestone. Today is my 15-year anniversary as a HopeHealth employee, and I wanted to recap my journey. In 15 years, I've lost some memorable patients that helped shape the type of service I provide, networked with incredible professionals, developed relationships, friendships, inside and outside the organization, experienced growth personally and professionally, mentored new staff and the next generation of HIV nurses, laughed, cried, hugged, kept secrets, told lies, and made peace. Became exhausted, discouraged, grateful, and excited. Took care of friends, neighbors, co-workers, church members, and community acquaintances. Found myself in scary situations: the crack house, the shelter, the soup kitchen, the strip, and the jail. I've gone out of my way, crossed some lines, and reestablished boundaries. Cared for families, sisters and brothers, husbands and wives, aunts and nieces, fathers and children, cousins, most who didn't know the other's diagnosis. Saw love triangles, learned about same-gender partnerships, experienced marriages, births, deaths, attended funerals for patients I cared about. Witnessed promising new treatment strategies, worked in old buildings, new locations, listened to new grant announcements, and watched the expansion of services. Treated famous people, homeless people, addicted people, broken people, hurt people, scared people, ordinary people, my people. Shared my faith with staff and patients, prayed for and with both. I'm still learning new things in the field of HIV, still loving what I do, still grateful for my job. And then she closes with this: most of all, through it all, I kept the faith that I could make a difference. And on some days, I believe and I know that I do. I'm forever grateful for the opportunities that HopeHealth has given me, the trust they place in me, and the support I receive. 15 down, 15 more to go. Thank you all for listening to me today, and thank you for the honor of receiving the Marian Medallion.
Take that.